Thank you for listening to the TTalks.net podcast, the show that brings you information, guidance, and support to entrepreneur-minded individuals like yourself. TTalks.net will give you something to talk about tomorrow. This isn't the daily show, but this is the show where you'll get everything. You'll get a fiesta of a mix with the old and the new. They will give you tips and insights into everyday business, big wins in everyday life. They have a lot to add, from bookkeeping to sales, sales management, and sales training, and daily content for listeners to learn and enjoy. We are here to improve your life and business or sales career. Without any further ado, introducing the dynamic duo, Alex De Luca and Rafael Rodriguez Jr.
Good evening, everyone. Today, it's April 21st, 2021. I am waiting for Alex to jump in. I'm hoping that he'll jump in anytime soon. But meanwhile, I don't have anybody to talk to. I'm hoping that we'll give him a minute or so. Otherwise, we are going to talk about sales management today. It's a topic that is dear to my heart, as I have been a sales manager in the past for several organizations. We have been very successful at creating top salespeople within the organization, and even though I don't consider myself to have the magic sauce or that magic wand, I think it takes a combination of several things, and hopefully I can share those, and hopefully you can find that magic wand or that special sauce that can help you excel in your sales career. So I did want to have the crowd, and where's my live audience?
All right. Yes.
Okay, real glad to have an audience, even though it might not be real. It sounds pretty cool. And let me do this. I believe he's trying to jump in. So anyways, I guess that the first part of sales management is to have salespeople.
You know, I was watching you. It sounded so good, so good.
Well, I'm trying to make you. There you are.
I had a little bit of. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Did you go on mute now?
No, I am still talking.
I think you muted yourself. Oh, wait. Unmuted this user's mic. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Wait. How you doing, bro?
I am doing fantastic. Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yes, sir. So
there you are. There I am. Sales management. T-Talks, ladies and gentlemen. Alex De Luca. Sorry for the technical difficulties there, you know. What would you do without the internet?
It happens to the best of us.
It does indeed. Well, I'm excited to be here, Ralph. Sales management. I was listening. This is a topic that you hold dear to your heart.
Oh, you heard it.
I was watching, man. You sounded so good, so good. I was just trying to get the WhatsApp going to get to the Riverside link. That was my issue. But we're here, baby.
What counts? Well, so anyways, so one of the things that I kind of wanted to talk about sales management was because of our previous call.
Yes, great call.
Huh?
Yes, great conference call. Always calls, learning, stepping out of your comfort zones. That call was for me. That's right up your alley. But one of the topics in the call was sales management. Yes.
Well, and what happens is that, a lot of times, and the reason why I kept listening to the conversation is because it always happens when we're training the new trainee. And what happens is that at the beginning, when they don't know nothing, they get on the phone, they just follow the script, and everything just starts falling into place.
Yes.
The more they start learning, the more they start getting off the script, the sales starts going to a slump. Then they blame everything except themselves. And even though we tell them to go back
no, not sales reps don't do that.
Oh, come on.
They don't do. Come on, Ralph. Don't
everybody else.
Don't put a bad name on the market.
Everybody else's fault except theirs.
I don't.
And
I can give you the best and one of the greatest examples of this. This goes back to our bread and butter of knocking on doors for various products. You want to keep it short and simple at that door if you're out there to get, in the lead generation process. I guess if you're, they're selling it at the door, you're going to get into more technical terms. But for the first, I don't know, I'm in business now, 7-8 years plus, a little bit more. First couple years into the home improvement industry, I did not know a thing at all. Didn't care to, didn't need to. I knew how to talk to people, set appointments, get them excited about something. And that was that, and it was right on par with once you start learning all the mumbo jumbo, and I can jump into all the 9 different industries I've sold, and I can tell you each time when and where, and really recollect and remember me in those shoes of knowing too much information, having diarrhea of the mouth like I am right now, and selling myself out of a sale. Done it, been there, done it, high five, learned not to do it again.
And part of the reason why I did want to have a sales management call was that I actually had a kid knock on my door today, selling.
Yes, nice. How was it? How was the kid?
He was great. I mean,
nice.
He
Love it.
Kept trying to close me, and kept saying I'm not here to sell, but he was definitely selling. I mean, he was just doing everything to the T.
Oh, I love it. I love those experiences where you get to be on the other end.
Well, and what happens is that all the different techniques and all the different play, because the sales process it's a game, it's a process. From creating the need, satisfying the need, trying to come up with some objections, and keep satisfying some needs, and then close. Even bringing the neighbors and the name of the homeowner around the corner, that they just did they just took advantage of the program. I mean, you name it. This was a perfect scripted conversation that he was having.
Using his impulse factor, sounds like he's on point.
Oh no, he was definitely on point. And then he kept saying that. That if he was me, that I will seriously look into it, and I basically told him, look, and I even showed him my phone bill, my electric bill, and told him.
Hey, you brought out the bill for the guy at the door. Look at you.
Yeah, no, I showed him. I said, this is a reason why it doesn't make sense for me to do solar, and then he finally agreed and he moved on. But
awesome.
Well,
that's one thing that I'm not personally. Look, I'll help you sell solar. I'll sell solar for you. But for me to wrap my mind, making my daily, my bread and butter, my business, I'm not sold on it yet in South Florida We have a great governor, a great energy company by FPL that keeps our costs down. If you go up to the Northeast where energy, I don't know, up 30-40%, go ahead and put some solar, save some money.
And you're absolutely right. Or California, where
California, go ahead, solar, you need it. Government's gonna take
well,
your money.
people can actually save money, but in my case, my return on my investment and the years to pay back is just so out there that it's not worth it. But anyways, and that's
But you can be that green feller, I'm going green.
that's all right.
That's
So when you talk about the sales, and today I just had in the last hour, or actually late night today, I actually saw the sales management aspect of things, and I thought it was going to be a good thing to bring up and talk about, because every organization needs sales. Somebody has to manage that sales, even if you're a one-man team and you're the owner and you're going out there to sell. Somebody needs to check to make sure that you're actually making money on that deal.
check it.
And it's no offense
Please
to
check
you, the owner. It's just a matter of, does it make sense for the organization? It could be your office manager, it could be your spouse. It doesn't matter who it is, but somebody that actually just looks at it and just makes sure that before you accept that deal, that deal makes sense. Because the last thing you want to do is take a deal that could put your company into jeopardy or put your company in a financial strain unnecessarily.
No, of course, and that's that you want to try to avoid all situations possible. That has to go with your training, your onboarding. Don't let your guys shouldn't be misquoting. Hey, it happens, but I'm a firm believer of any contractor that I've worked with, and even the deals that I bring to the table, and somebody that I haven't trained, there needs to be the contractor, the qualifier, he signs off on that contract before it goes into production. The homeowner knows it, everybody knows it. One of those type of things.
Well, and you just talked about onboarding, and actually one of the things that I'm going to bring up, that I am going to, give me a second, let me just put it into my computer.
Just put it in my computer.
White paper by Sales Performance International. Research indicates that without a systematic ongoing learning or reinforcement, approximately 50% of the learning content, 50, is not retained within 5 weeks, much less applied. Within 90 days, 84% of what was initially learned is lost.
Woo! Come on, Ralph. Damn, I'm about to say this. It's been a while since you've been in school, but you are currently in school now. You go to take a test. Do you remember a lot of that information that's on that test a couple weeks down the line?
I mean, it depends on how relevant it is to what I'm doing and so on and so forth.
Of course.
Because if it's relevant, I'm going to tell you yes. If if I'm learning about accounting and I'm learning about tax codes, then it has to be relevant.
Yeah, no, of course.
At the same token, you asked me about something from 5 years ago, tax code, or what was the how much was the deduction per person, what was the minimum. I mean, I don't retain that information because I don't need to retain it. I mean, that's why you kind of research it, and I don't want to be a walking encyclopedia if I don't need to.
And don't, Google's for that nowadays. And, going back onto T-Talk topics, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we have here next.
Well,
I'd love to do more field training. That's huge. Huge.
Well, let's put it this way. When you have on field training, you're going to have 4 times more of your ROI than just doing a training without any, just a a classroom training. 4 times. Now, if I'm able to get 4 times my ROI, will it be something that you might think about doing?
No, of course. In this, we've been in a couple different areas, from call centers, in-store retail promotions, door-to-door residential, door-to-door business, right? Every one of them, I'm a firm believer of, look, I'm going to send you home with this script. We're gonna go through a onboarding process like no other, and you're gonna know what's going on. But we're gonna go into the field, and we're gonna have fun in the field, and we're pretty much gonna let you loose with the little bit of ammunition that you get, your bullet points that we talk about. And if you're not gonna train in the field, and you're just gonna do the classrooms, and you throw people out into the field, you have no idea how they're going to react in the field. That's huge. You gotta know. You got to see the sweat equity they put in, be around them, so at least you have a taste. You send them out there, you have no idea what they're doing, what they're going through, their mental state, and these are all things that you're gauging when you're in the field. Not only are you putting up sales and numbers yourself, you're also doing these little things at the same time.
Well, and it goes right next to our next scenario, which is use success stories to train and to motivate. And you notice that on our call, we actually saw this being put into play. Indicating a case study to show the relevancy of their particular project, how it will be beneficial to our organization. The same thing goes with the kid that came today. He went to talk about couple people that he actually helped lower their bill tremendously to 1/3 of what they were paying before. And even though they're using it on the sales pitch to convey that other person on the other side, it's because it kind of works. So imagine using those same scenarios, success stories, to your team, or even if it's to yourself. Just looking at the mirror and say, man, last month I did over $100,000 worth of business. That's a lot for one person. And of course, it depends on the industry that you're in and so on and so forth. But,
how much profit did you do?
Well, that's the second story. Remember, in the sales environment, you always talk about the wins. We know about the loss, so we don't want to hear about the loss.
Wins all the time. We celebrate the wins. One of the best things that has stuck out with my, throughout my career, us putting together those businesses, staffing stores across the country for DirecTV. It's a huge following. It's a huge win-win-win situation. There's a leaderboard for people across the country. The top, people that made $1,000, $1,400 a week. You knew who they were. Their names were announced on conference calls. Your high rollers were known. The moment they walked into the atmosphere room at the end of the day, or at the end of the day, they come in and they ring the gong or the bell for their production. It's, hey guys, I'm doing this, copy me. It's your superiors, your sales manager say, hey guys, those guys are doing good. Go join that group, see what they're doing. And it's just all full circle. All full circle. You have to be good storytelling at the same time. And translate those stories in kind of a enthusiastic, remembering way for them to get out there and go do it again. I remember they used to cap off, we used to cap off sales calls with, I even thought about doing this in the podcast, bringing up some of the old stories, painting the pictures or analogy stories or stuff like that, really hitting it home with the motivational stuff, stories, man. We can go on for days there, that whole topic.
Well, the next one is to incentivize your team. I know right now getting people to work, and even to get them to work on a 1099 commission only, it's rough because
why is it tough? Please, are you up? Well, why else is it tough? why is it, with unemployment being at a historical low for this time of life, 2021, we were prosperous, right before COVID at an unexpected level. The stock market, everything's still doing good, God bless. But, why right now, with unemployment being so low, is it so hard for companies, that we're working with, filling the seat right now? Why is that, Ralph?
Well, there's a couple of reasons, and unfortunately, there are people that are actually making more money sitting at home collecting unemployment than they are, I mean, why should I risk my life, and especially if I'm a high risk individual, 2021, as a cashier, making $10 an hour, where I can stay home and make $20 an hour.
It's almost $600 a week right now.
600, so that's $15 an hour.
Yep.
Just sitting at home.
And then you go up to the Northeast, you're getting upwards $1,200 a week. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It's helping a whole world of people out there. Can't say anything great about it, or anything more great. Sorry.
Well, the other topic that I do want to I do want to bring up is that salespeople, to have a very successful sales team, they have to work well with other department, and they have to understand the intricate part of the other department. And the reason why that's important, especially like in lawn care or any service industry, it's easily said to put on paper to landscaping. This was extremely huge because here we are, we're competing for $1 million business, and everything is calculated by man hours. So every time you short a man hour here, a man hour over there, just to try to hit that number, something is going to give. And what is it? What's going to give? Is it? And you can't give up quality. You can't give up service. So something happens that you're taking from Peter to pay Paul. And we saw it a lot. And then once you understand the ramification of your numbers, you start being more cautious and working with other departments to make sure that you're somewhat in line, and you're not, so you sold $1 million deal, but you just created $1 million headache for the operation manager. And you really don't care because, hey, you know what? I just put up the numbers and I'm walking tall, and everybody else in the organization is going crazy trying to give what the customer expects from the company.
Oof.
Next one.
Next.
You got to train with tough leaders.
The toughest.
Well, what happens is the following, is that if you're too soft, people are going to take advantage of you. If you're too hard, then people don't want to work with you. So you have to have a balance of being their friend, their boss, their sister, their mother, their uncle, and still expect professionalism on their side, and also push them to hit a particular number. I mean, a lot of times if you're an independent contractor, I can't dictate where you need to be and how you need to be, but if you're doing appointments and you want appointments, you better be where you gotta be, and don't be late. If you are looking to make XYZ amount for the month and you're not there for whatever reason, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, hey, remember, this is what we talked about. These are your goals, and if you don't do the things that you say you wanted to do, if you don't do it, you're not gonna get to where you need to be. And there has to be some type of, some type of feedback that you got to give that individual.
No, definitely. It's feedback. It's feedback. It's not only to be tough. You got to learn how to deal with all the different types of personalities. that you've trained. But one of the strategies that helped with me being that now I'm catching up in age, but I was always the young gun. And had the opportunity to excel, and always wanted the opportunity to excel from just being in sports and baseball and coaching the baseball. I just always wanted to do that, no matter what industry it was. What interview I took is, where do you see yourself in 6 months or a year at the company? I'm like, on the other side with you, hiring, training, and growing the business, because that's what I like. The build, break, build has always helped me. Building somebody up. You're doing great here, you're not doing so great there, but hey, you're doing great here again, has went tenfold for me throughout my career. If you're young and you're in a sales manager position, I'd write that one down, save it, put it in the back pocket. The build, break, build theory.
Well, I always talk about the sandwich.
What's the sandwich? Give me the dirty sandwich.
Sandwich is the same thing. You start with something positive, then you give them the meat, and you end with something positive. So you just give them a sandwich approach.
There you go. Love it.
Same thing, different. Do offer daily micro training, even if it's a 10-minute, 15-minute. Just trying to not necessarily focus, but just try to get something out there that you think is important, and just rehash it. The more you talk about, the more it's going to sink in. We started with the amount of retention that people have when you have a classroom environment. The information after 90 days, 84% of it is out the door. So if you know that these are important points, then these important points you want to make sure that you repeat it over and over and over. Not necessarily every day. If you need to every day, then do it every day. But
I like these ones here. Just because we both have ADD and attention spans, woohoo, bonkers, right? But it's also good, for the daily briefings. After you go over your high rollers, and it gives you an opportunity to say, hey, this is what I forgot. Possibly you may have forgot as well as this little thing in the sales process. There's a method behind your madness. You know that each thing that you're going to say every day, some might be more off the cuff, just like T-Talks is. But those little bits of training on a daily basis, and we've met some people along the way, and even us being able to do this now, I want to get more into the video training aspect of things, and how simple that you can do to multiply to the masses.
Well, we got a couple more topics to go. Focus on the specialty. That's where a sales manager will try to pair up individuals with potential clients. Sometimes that a certain person can kick it off with, usually if they're from the same cities, or if they're from New York, they're both from New York, or they're both from South Florida. They like fishing, whatever it is. You try to pair them up based on their specialty. Next but not least, try to get them a mentor. Even if you're if you're the business owner, you're looking for a mentor. There's plenty of organizations out there that are free, including SCORE, that they will assign a mentor for you. And one of the things that I'm going to end up, since it's 10:29, is offer more constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism, love it.
Nobody likes to hear negative criticism. Throw more positive than negative. I mean, they're there for you, unless they're just. I mean, if you're losing money on that salesperson, whose fault is that?
Look in the mirror.
And that's what it boils down to. You allow them to do it. They probably they need more training, and if the training is not working, then he shouldn't be selling for you. Or he needs to be penalized for making the same mistake over and over and over. But guys, it is 10:30 on the dot. Time flies. Any words of advice as we close up?
I don't know. Set your goals. Follow them. Chase them. Don't stop. Every day is new. Welcome to Tea Talks. Hopefully we gave you something to think about. If you want us to talk about anything anything that we haven't discussed yet on our 39 plus minus 2 episodes, right, Ralph? Please let us know. Thanks for tuning in.
And this is Raphael from Hollywood.
Thank you for tuning in to ttalks.net. If you have any questions, comments, or something you want us to talk about, email us at raphael@ttalks.net or comment below. Please follow us on YouTube at ttalks.net and Facebook at ttalks.net. Please rate us and don't forget that sharing is caring. Thank you for your support. Till next time, we will tea talk later.
And ladies and gentlemen, my name's Alex DeLuca. Good night from Naples.
And Raphael from Hollywood, Florida, saying good night. See you tomorrow.